2 days ago, I had a kind of interesting spiritual type experience. I wasn't doing anything special, like meditating or chanting or something like that. I just came indoors. I'd been outside on my patio fixing my old iPhone to get it to work faster, and it had been the first nice day for a while, and so I wanted to be outside, nice in terms of warm. And when I came back inside into my living room, I felt a shift in my perception, and it felt like everything was kind of slowing down. I believe it was connected to my third chakra, which is the will, about doing and taking care of things and so forth. And in this altered state, I felt very attuned to the kind of animal level doing that exists within humans, and how it is so easy to just be doing something all the time. And I've had about 4 other experiences since being on the spiritual path, during which I felt some altered state for an extended period of time, very little thought or exaggerated sense of stillness and presence. But this time, thought was still present, but what I was realizing was that there's a certain kind of vibration that goes along with everyday type human activity. And in this state, I was no longer in that vibration. I was at a much more mellow, low vibration, a very content state. I was content with the stillness, and it shifted my perception of everything around me. Everything was just as it was, and I also realized that to do what I would normally do, to look for some other activity, some other thing to do, would be shifting my vibration into a familiar state. And I didn't really want to do that. I wanted to just stay with the stillness. It was very relaxed. And I think in terms of my third chakra, there's normally a churning, an energy there. And I was thinking maybe it was activated over a decade ago when I started going into business for myself, that real reliance upon personal will. But now it's kind of, stuck in that mode where to just do nothing and to feel content with nothing is not my normal state of being. And so I liked this state of contentment, and I wanted to stay present with it. So I just felt it. It felt very relaxing, very strong. Felt like there was a message going on within it. At the same time, there was a part of me, the ego voice, that was a little afraid. Whenever there's an altered state that comes over somebody, and it doesn't come from a drug or alcohol or some other kind of typical state of alteration, but it just comes up over you, then the ego can whisper, maybe there's something wrong. Maybe this feeling is related to illness or death or some kind of bodily problem. I was pretty sure it wasn't, but that whisper was still there. And I thought afterwards, the next time something like that happens, I should try to just go and sit in front of the camcorder here and try to describe it as it's occurring, because recalling it now, I can still feel the sensation, but it's not as immediate, so describing it is a little bit difficult. But anyhow, I just experienced it for a while. Within a half hour or so, I started to feel the world coming back in. And I thought, well, I have some laundry I want to do, and there's a couple other things on my to-do list to get to. And I felt pretty present throughout the rest of the night, from the evening until going to bed, still recalling this altered state and being able to access it and to do, but to still just be present and recognize that all this doing isn't that important. I mean, there's things to do, but it's not as compulsory as it may feel. I think I mentioned the animal type impulse earlier on in this video. Doing used to be really important on that kind of biological level because it was all about survival. But now, very few things that we do have a direct, immediate impact on our true safety. So, being that doing is related to safety, it can still feel like the doing that we do is related to safety, but it's not that important. So it can just kind of unfold with a state of presence. I feel that what came over me was a glimpse of how I can feel more frequently. But it's a pretty intense state, that much presence. It's like attaining the state of a still pond, and so any thought, whether it's a thought of gratitude for the stillness, for feeling so calm, or if it's a thought of fear, it can feel magnified. So I believe that furthering, working on my thoughts in terms of faith and trust and not going into fear about life, that can be helpful. I also reflected on why did this occur when it did? You know, it seemed to come out of nowhere. And one possible connection is that I just finished about a week and a half of working on my home, both inside and outside, trying to improve the aesthetics, being very focused on just making things look more pleasing and getting rid of things that no longer felt congruent and pleasing. So the day that this occurred on, this altered state, was the last day really of the major improvements. I just finished earlier that day with all that, so I kind of felt part of the message was, okay, you have been redesigning your nest and you know, making it all comfortable and pleasing, so now be still and just relax and enjoy it.